Hey everybody, welcome back. These entitled bosses made it to Am I the A-hole? All rise for the Honorable Judge Charlotte presiding. This is just an excuse for me to practice not only my turkey impression, but my opera singing skills. Thank you very much. Am I the a-hole for not giving my boss my first class seat? This was posted by Scootin' Dog in Am I the A-hole? Yesterday, my boss and I were flying home from a conference. We were on the same flight, but our original seats weren't next to each other. I'm a frequent traveler on this airline and use their credit card, so I often get free upgrades to first class. By the way, if you don't do this, you should definitely do it. I got upgraded on this flight, and my boss did not. What? Oh, this is ripe for some drama. I smell drama. After the flight, when we were collecting our bags, she said she wanted to talk to me about my, quote, lack of respect for protocol.
Sounds a little like jealousy.
What? She thinks that because the company paid for my original ticket and she is more senior than me, I should have given her the first class seat. Is there something about that in your contract? I think this is absolutely insane. It is. It absolutely is. While the company paid for my seat, it's my own personal credit card spending and frequent travel that earned me that upgraded seat. Why doesn't she have that credit card? She's just jealous. She's jealous or whatever. Is this some sort of corporate standard I'm not aware of? Am I the a-hole? I highly doubt that there's something in your employment contract that says if you get first class, you must give this first class seat to your boss because she said so. Okay, I really love this response, okay? My brother's a lawyer, and you know, every time I go to him with legal problems, he always tells me that this is like the first thing that you do whenever there's like a potentially like awkward sort of like legal discussion. This is what you do. Someone comes to you with a problem that's really irrational and stupid. You then say, could you point to the part in the contract that says that?
No, I cannot.
What up? I'm Jared, I'm 19, and I never learned how to read.
Meanwhile, you know entirely that there's nothing in the contract that says that. So you make them feel stupid and you look smart. It's excellent. So commenter said, not the a-hole. If you want to see ya going forward, you could always email HR and ask X happened while on this trip and manager Y advised that I should have done Z. Can you point me to where I can review the protocols so I know going forward? It documents the incident without being accusatory and lets you be able to cite chapter and verse if there's a next time. OP responds, this is a really helpful suggestion. Thank you. She's retaliated against other employees who've raised concerns about her attitude with HR before, so this tact feels a little more comfortable for me than an outright complaint. This person that commented clearly knows it's always good to keep a record. It's always good to like follow up a business email or any kind of interaction where there might have been like some susness. You follow that up, you put it in writing, and that's kind of a way to like document it. And an email is great because then both parties kind of know what's going on, you know? Everybody kind of knows.
I know you. You know you. And I know you know that I know you.
You're letting HR know while also informing yourself of the protocols. So we do have an update. Thanks to the many of you kind Redditors who made me realize, 1, I was not the a-hole in the situation, 2, I was in a very toxic work situation. I took the advice many of you gave me and clarified the policy with HR. The company, of course, did not have this policy. Oh, big surprise there. Big surprise! Right, because it's stupid and no one would ever put that in a contract. It's stupid and petty, and she's just trying to like throw her weight around as your boss because she's higher up and she's jealous that you got to sit in first class and she didn't. I also took your advice and got out of that job quickly, and I'm happy to say I'm starting a new job in 3 weeks. Well, that's good. I wouldn't want to work for a person like that either. I know the person who will be my supervisor on my new job, and she's very kind and a normal person. Well, thank goodness for that. Pretty nervous to give my notice to the toxic boss on Monday, but oh well. If she's nasty, then my 2 weeks notice will just become an immediate resignation. We live in a one-party consent for recording state. And I plan to record the phone conversation to protect myself. I love that for you. So in case you're wondering, OP left an update in the comments. Apparently it was like very uninteresting. No drama happened when she resigned. Boss was just like,
What do you mean? Why do you want to quit?
what do you mean? What do you mean? I'm a great boss. No, you're not. You're petty and silly. Look at this top comment. Boss, I know your lunch looks tastier than mine. You need to trade lunches with me because I'm the boss and I should have the nicer meal. No, it's giving that exact energy. Like, it's crazy how some of these people like that end up in management are like this. Like there's quite a lot of them. It's really not that uncommon. Anyways, I digress. So, are you the a-hole for not giving your boss your first class seat? No. She can cry about it. Am I the a-hole for ignoring my boss and blocking his number on my vacation? The Honorable Judge Harlan. My boyfriend, 29 male, and I, 26 female, are currently long distance. We take turns visiting each other. He came to see me after almost 2 months of not seeing each other. We were finally able to make plans. I requested to have 5 days off, which was approved from my job. I worked there for 6 years. I'm a security guard at a department store. It was after my shift and I was heading out quickly. I had to pick up my boyfriend from the airport. I clocked out, and while I was saying bye to everyone, my new boss of 2 weeks stopped me.
Stop!
He asked if I could cover a shift, since one of my coworkers called in sick. We are short-staffed and he needed me to stay for a couple hours more. I had a 10-hour shift. I was exhausted. This is when it's kind of like, when someone requests this type of thing of you, it's just like, they kind of expect you to sort of bend over backwards for them.
You will do as I say.
And like ignore the fact that you have your own life. If someone is willing to ask that of you, they don't really respect your time. Like, I'm just saying. Why is it that you have to bend over backwards to accommodate your job, but they can't accommodate a simple time off request? I responded, no, I'm sorry, but I'm unable to do that and I can't stay late. I've covered shifts before in the past. I don't mind, but I had somewhere to be. I mentioned I was picking up someone from the airport. He told me they could take an Uber. My boyfriend wouldn't be happy with him if I did this to him. Also, he has no key to my apartment. No one else wanted to stay, and I was the third person he asked that said no. I said, sorry, I can't just tonight, another time. I firmly believe that you, as a boss, should be prepared to cover anyone's shift that isn't available. Like, you don't have to do it, that's their job, but in a situation like this, you should be able to fill in. Why doesn't he cover your shift? He called me a lousy worker and I'm not a team player. They always use the team player today. Not a team player. Oh. This ain't baseball. I said, I guess I'm not a team player, and I walked past him. I called out, I'll see him in 5 days. While driving to the airport, I kept getting calls and texts from him. It got so bad that I had to pull over to turn my phone off. My boss wanted me to come back to work. Okay, at this point, I feel like it's just really unnecessary. Like, I don't understand why this boss couldn't have taken the time that he's taking to pester you and harass you while you're not at work, not being paid for it, and he couldn't have just stood at the front of the store and dealt with it himself. You could tell him that he doesn't have very good problem-solving skills. I had to turn on my phone so my boyfriend could contact me. My phone was flooded with text messages, ding after ding. I think I got close to 15 texts. I blocked his number. I was so happy to see my boyfriend. I was getting emails from my boss constantly when I was supposed to be on my time off. I didn't respond and I rarely take vacation. 1, he was asking me stuff I didn't know the answer to. 2nd, even if I did, I'm not telling him. I don't know, I was starting to get petty. Woo! I just said it on my lawsuits. You dummy! I still had fun with my boyfriend. When I got to work, my boss called me into his office. He blew up at me for being unprofessional, and he's still new to this job. I should have helped or at least replied to the emails. I responded, other people could have helped him. It's not my responsibility when it's my vacation time.
How dare she talk to me like that?
I got my first write-up ever. Is this something I'm missing? Did I do something inherently wrong here? I'm actually considering to report him. He's still new to this job. Am I the a-hole? I think that any boss that like bothers someone outside of work hours, like, and this is coming from someone who had a boss that would call me outside of work hours at like 7 p.m. at night. And when I tell you, like, my heart, I could never answer a phone call or a text from this boss again. It just gave me such anxiety to see that. I wasn't getting paid for these conversations. They would be hour-long conversations. Like, people I know have bosses like that, where they would like bother their employees in the middle of the night and like force them to be on the phone with them and like answer their questions. And it's like, it's not your job to train this boss. Edit, I'm Canadian, I live in BC. I'm not sure if that's relevant, but I am happy to know you are from the motherland. Update, I sent an email to my HR with all the emails, texts, and call logs, any other evidence I have. My job isn't like on call, so I don't understand why he was bothering me. He is my age roughly. On a happier note, my boyfriend and I are planning on moving in together. Okay, good. So they're going into HR to kind of have a little discussion, but like, OP says that they're gonna quit the job, so it is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
It's always the bosses that are new, eh? Well, no, there's other bosses too, but like I've noticed that when like a new boss kind of comes in, you don't have a previous relationship with that boss. They might come in and resent the fact that you know, had a great relationship with your previous boss. They resent how much money you make. They resent this and that, or like whatever. And they kind of just,
Me big man, me big woman, me make
no rules. You know what I mean? Like, it's a power trip at the end of the day. And I think coming from someone who is a boss, when people aren't getting paid to like answer your text messages, you really genuinely cannot expect a response from them, especially if they're on vacation. Just respect the fact that they have a life and it doesn't involve the job. Your manager sounds like a terrible manager. If I were his boss, I would be concerned that 1, he harassed a long-standing employee during her planned and approved vacation. 2, he failed to organize how a team would work in your planned absence. Yes, that's also his fault. 3, he failed to organize a proper handover prior to your planned absence. Exactly. So he didn't know what to do. He was in a new job. He didn't know what to do. He was kind of making it your problem. He threw a temper tantrum against one of his subordinates rather than fixing the problem at hand with the resources he had available. Agreed. So are you the a-hole for ignoring your boss and blocking his number while on vacation? Of course not. You ain't getting paid enough for that. I'm not getting paid enough for that. All right, we got one more entitled boss for you guys. Am I the a-hole for saying no to my boss after she asked me to watch her kids this weekend? So, my 22 female sister is getting married this coming weekend.
A wedding, we're going to have a wedding.
And I'll be gone Thursday to Sunday. I've had this known that I was going to be gone for 7 months. 7 months. I would even remind every month or so just so I knew she knew. I nanny 2 amazing kids who are 6 and 8. This is the first time I've ever asked to have some time off. My boss has always been like,
Oh yeah, sure, sounds like a beautiful wedding.
However, I got a text 2 hours ago saying she really needs me this weekend and she couldn't find anyone else.
So we're not going to the wedding.
I've heard this before. I was pissed, but I know how to act calm since, you know, that's my job, to stay happy and calm. I texted her back a quick apology, but said I don't really want to miss my sister's wedding and she's my only sibling. Okay, so first of all, so you nanny these kids. I'm assuming it's the mom of the kids who wants to go and do something fun or whatever, and she wants you to watch her kids instead.
Bruh.
There's plenty of babysitters out there, plenty of people. Realistically, it's not really your problem that she didn't find someone to cover for you.
Your poor planning does not constitute an emergency for me. You'll see him in Paris. Go sit down.
She could also not do the things she has planned and look after her own kids. Well, boss woman went off the deep end and said if I didn't show up to watch her kids this weekend, that I won't have a job come Monday. I replied with this exactly. I'm so sorry that you're having a hard time looking for someone to cover. I can reach out to a few nanny friends I have to see if any of them would like to pick it up. This is a once-in-a-lifetime moment for my sister, and if it means I will lose my job, then sadly, I will have to accept that. I love it when people expect you to treat your job like it's your life.
You don't have to raise your voice.
And they expect you to choose between the job and a life. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, but I think in most situations, you gotta choose the life. I do love this job and your kids, and I hope we can work something out. I think it would devastate the kids, but you do what you need to do, and I will accept that. She threw a few insults at me and said I'm abandoning her kids. Sorry, why can she not look after her own kids again?
But I have things to do.
It doesn't surprise me that she has a hard time finding a nanny. I don't know what to do. I don't want to get a new job because I work so well with these two kiddos. I mean, it's very clear that your boss, the mom, does not respect that you need to take time off sometimes. Her kids are not your life. Even though I understand you have a good relationship with them. Like, I get it. But like, you've never taken time off before. You've been a good employee.
So you say.
And there's clearly no reward for that. Like, you can't even take time off to go to your own sister's wedding without getting berated by somebody. Is it really worth it to keep that job? Not really. Plenty of people looking for childcare out there. You'll be fine. My mom told me I was an a-hole for so quickly accepting that I might get fired, and told me that work just sucks sometimes and you have to suck it up. I mean, yeah, I agree that work does suck, but if you can help it, it doesn't have to suck. Unless, you know, you're in a position where you love what you do and your work is your life. Most of the time, people have jobs, and they have these jobs in order to have a life. They look forward to vacations. They look forward to time off. They look forward to, you know, spending the money that they're making. That is their life. So when you're not allowed to have that life, what is the point of like having that job? I don't get it. Mom said I should be an adult and just miss my sister's wedding. Are you kidding me right now? I don't know, should I? Am I really being that big of an a-hole for saying no? No, you're not. You're stating a boundary. And it's clear that your mom, you know, might have some, you know, older generations tend to be like,
Old kids today don't want to work.
like maybe you felt like you had to work. There's plenty of jobs out there. Most of the jobs in this video, you know, there's plenty of places that need security guards, plenty of people that need nannies. I just think that like bosses and employers need to learn that they can't just treat people however they want. They can't just expect people to drop everything in their lives, especially when they've been like a good employee. Just to clarify, me and my mom don't have a good relationship. I didn't ask her for advice. She was in the room with my sister and I as I was venting to my sister. I would have gotten no contact at 18 if it wasn't for my dad. Can we please stop talking about it now? I have a lot of trauma from her. That's for another day, okay?
Get out of my life.
I don't think it matters what your mom says if that's the case, so screw her. She's not the boss of you. I mean, even the person that is the boss of you isn't the boss of your life. Not the a-hole. Start looking for a new job now. And when they ask when you can start, list it for the day you're done with the wedding festivities. This woman must have a lot of backup options for childcare if she can so casually threaten your job like that and talk to you in that way. I mean, clearly she doesn't have a lot of options.
I hope you're hungry. For nothing.
She must be used to getting her way to do such a 180 on you like that. This is the thing about like, you know, kind of always picking up the slack for other people and like never taking a vacation and sort of working whenever people tell you to work. They start to get conditioned that like that's what you'll do every time. So when you refuse to do it, they get mad. You can be the one to teach her this valuable lesson about valuing an employee nice enough to give extensive notice in advance when they won't be able to be on the job. After all, you gave her plenty of notice along with reminders, and the fact that she's in the lurch now is because she didn't respect you and your personal time enough to make plans for this time months ago. Not only that, but she also isn't good at planning herself.
Your poor planning does not constitute an emergency for me.
While it's true that you do have to sometimes suck it up as an adult, that time is not when you've given your employer more than a half a year's notice that you need this specific time off. There's certain kind of downfalls that come with every job, right? Every job comes with annoying downfalls, okay? Even being a YouTuber, there are some annoying things that I deal with that I won't complain about because I'm very lucky and blessed. But it's still annoying, okay? It's not all sunshine and rainbows all the time. Most of the time it is, but sometimes it's not. There are certain things that it's like, you know what? It comes with the job. I'll deal with it. When it comes to like taking time off and like having a life, you should always prioritize, you know, people in your life and things that are important to you. You know, a job's a job. It's very much being an adult to prioritize your sister's wedding over a job that doesn't value enough to respect that you had arranged this time off months ago. Yeah, no, you're kind of just like, it's like a little bit of slave labor at this point. She had 7 months to find someone to cover for you. Actually, I think no matter what OP should look for a new job, no one is ever paid enough to take insults. That's the deal breaker right there. Yeah, no, I read that too. And it's like, it's one thing if she's trying to like strong arm you to like take on a shift. It's another thing to be berated. Like that just to me is like, she doesn't respect OP at all. This boss does not care. She's willing to insult people to get her way. She's willing to threaten people and blackmail people and threaten to like fire them. It's not worth it. Like I understand you like the kids, but like, She can suck it up and take care of her own kids. I don't think she has other options available, which is why she went to threatening right away. This is the point. These people are so used to getting things their way, they lash out when they don't. Exactly. It's just another tactic to getting what they want, you know? At first, you know, they'll be nice. They'll like threaten to fire you, threaten this, threaten that. And then, you know, the claws will come out. Your mom's right. Oh, sometimes life sucks and you have to suck it up. Ooh, hot take. That is sound advice for your boss.
They had us the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
Her weekend plans cannot trump her children. If she can't find coverage, she has to take care of them herself. That sucks, but she has to suck it up.